Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Sir, are you trolling us? Are you trolling us? That's all. That's the only thing I got for you. I just want to ask you, my brother, are you trolling us? Because I just want to sit right there and I just want to marinate in that. Are you trolling us? I just want to marinate in that. Tyler Perry. See, I need my behind whooped because I literally sat around just the other day and said, you know, I really miss like the have and the have nots. I really miss my show like the have and the have nots where I knew it was ridiculous. I knew it was going to be ridiculous. It was the ridiculousness of it that drew me into it. The Veronica Harrington of it all the crudeness and just over the top, overbearing foolishness of it all is what drew me to it. And at a point, we got so tired, and I dropped out a couple times from reviewing it because it was just it had just gotten so ridiculous. But then once you have it pulled away from you, and then you say, I miss that bullshit. You know what I mean? I miss the bullshit of it all. And just like that, boom, fairy godfather showed up, Tyler Perry, and they said, I got a new series coming out called Beauty in Black. Beauty in Black. And it seems as though every time you write black in the title, you act a black fool, Tyler. I don't know what you got going on, man. But when you write black in the title, you are acting a fool. Do you understand me? But I literally wanted you to return to me with some of the foolishness because I was missing it. I was missing it. And when I tell you that you brought me subpar storylines, recycled sets, foolishness in the black is what you brought me. So I'm not even going to sit here and fight. Don't fight the felon. Don't fight the felon. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it, Tyler. I'm going to ride the ride with you. And I'm going to take my seatbelt off. And I'm going to put my goddamn hands up. And I'm just going to ride the roller coaster with you. Just wanted to do this part of the video to let you know, Tyler Perry, that me, James Colwell, SpillitBoyTV, I just wanted you to know how ridiculous you are being. And that I'm going to be just as ridiculous as you. And I'm going to ride the ride with you. And it's going to be what it's going to be. You're going to give me the best of you. And I'm going to give you the best of me. You're going to play in my face with this old goddamn series. And I'm going to drag. I'm going to drag. I'm going to say whatever it is I feel like saying. I ain't going to worry about hurting your feelings. I ain't going to worry about you taking it the wrong way. I'm going to give it to you just like you giving it to me. Now, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to let you do your job because I asked for you to do your job. So with a whole a non-shameful outlook, I'm going to go on and review this show, and I'm going to do it like I do it. And we ain't going to be personal. We just going to do it, Tyler. That's it. That's all. Ain't got no more. We're going to say what we want to say. You wrote what you wanted to write. I'm going to say what I want to say. And it ain't nothing personal. You understand? Now let's start over. rewind the tape and let's get started. Let's get started. I'm gonna start over, okay? I'm gonna start over. All right, y'all. See the fakeness of it all? You see the whole fakery of it all? I need my behind whoop too. I'll give myself some right now. Now let's go ahead. Okay, y'all. I asked for a nighttime soap, and Tyler Perry gave me just that, a nighttime soap. So let's get into this. This is Beauty in Black. Okay, how's that for a regular intro? Okay. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. This is my review for Beauty in Black, which is a new series, a nighttime soap type series, if you will, by the one and only Mr. Tyler Perry. I don't know how this is going to turn out, so I'm just going to do it like I do it. This is season 1, episode 1. I don't know if we're going to make it to season 2, but this is season 1, episode 1. Netflix, Beauty in Black. Tyler has returned with the old nighttime soap opera series. All I'm going to say here is this is a mosh posh of flawed characters thrown in, people we've seen, sets we've seen, storylines we've seen. We got a new mix of it, and this is what it is. We just going to enjoy it and let it be what it be. We start right off. We're up in a Trick's room. We got a girl named Kimmy. Kimmy is literally being booted from a Trick's room because she's a pathetic whore. She just doesn't have it together. She's not bringing him the fantasy that it is that he was paying for. And it seems as though she's a pathetic whore to the point where she literally has a pimp. She's a pimp. Who is a pimp in 2024? Who? They're set, I believe, in Chicago. Because at some point they're in Chicago and then they went over to Indiana, which is really, really close to Chicago, but not Chicago, okay? But at any rate, Kimmy's a whore. Kimmy's also a stripper. And she is a pimp. And the pimp controls everything. He controls everything. He controls the stripper. He controls the whoring. He controls Kimmy all together. And his name is Jules. I mean, you know, a pimp. A pimp. Because why wouldn't a pimp be Jules Goldie? How long did it take you to think that one up, Tyler? How long? How many scratch pads did you go through before you decided to name your pimp Jules? You know, one of the most popular pimps that there ever was in black cinema was Goldie, right? Oh, that one really took a lot of thought, Tyler. Anyway, but Jules is controlling everything. Jules is cutthroat. It's just, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to throw a bunch of these people in there. It's just because that's what it was. It was really no formula to this. It's just a bunch of shit thrown in and a bunch of people thrown in, and you just catch up because that's nighttime soap. It don't matter where you step in, and that's how I felt. Like it didn't matter where I stepped in. I just stepped in, and here's the story, and let's just go with it. Then we flash out, and we see Kimmy going to this seminar. And the seminar is for a woman named Mallory. She's a rich girl. She's a rich girl. And from what we could tell, it seems as though she was from a rich family. And she has like a beauty business. We found out later this business actually has some problems. There's some problems there. A background of cancer, something about the product and gave some folks some cancer, and a bunch of them died, and some other things. And, there's some legal woes. But this woman's actually doing this whole thing, and she's putting up this best face. Mallory, she's doing her thing. She is saying all the right things, making all the right moves, sharp designer dress, this, that, thing, and the other. The seminars put together, it looks like everything is giving very Atlanta, but they're saying that we're in Chicago. So, okay, that's fine. But it's given very MLM, very multi level marketing type of crowd, following, whatever. But we're in there with Mallory. She's telling her story about how she was 9 years old and she was a foster child. And she went into a modeling gig, and it was a model search. And her foster mother wanted the favorite foster daughter to book this job. But for whatever reason, the person who ended up becoming her father-in-law liked her. He liked her, and he chose her. She was 9. So that gave me weird. I said, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. But anyway, so she basically hit the mother load. And she eventually ended up marrying his son. And now she is sort of like the prodigal daughter that he handpicked. A little creepy, but okay. And that's Roy. And we found out later Roy is the trick in question, who has the really bad attitude, but he's cute. He's cute as a button with a badass body and all of that. But I mean, Tyler Perry, we already know it's going to be eye candy, and the women are going to be dressed to the nines. Everybody going to be looking good. That's just the way it is. But oh, that Roy is a piece of something nice and thick, honey. Okay. But Roy got an attitude problem. He said, "All I want is a hoe that'll do what I want done when my wife ain't around." Never saying really what the wife wouldn't do, but I just want a hoe to treat like a hoe and do what my wife didn't say what his wife wouldn't do what I want her to do. And he really was, he wanted her to suck him off and all that. It is what it is. And I couldn't see Mallory doing nothing like that, because I looked at Mallory saying all the right things. And I said, I doubt that that's really Mallory. And then surely I was right, because just a little bit after that, we see Mallory coming out of her event. And she's kissing babies and carrying on. Oh, she was giving away this scholarship for $1 million and all of this, all carrying on. Just gave this to this woman. The woman was there at the seminar with 3 children with her. And she said, "Can I hold your baby?" She held the baby. Baby threw up on her. I saw right then, I said, oh, Mallory is nothing more than a Veronica in a younger form. She's smiling and grinning for the people. I said, oh, another regurgitated character. Okay. But when that baby threw up on her, she looked at that baby, honey. I said, if she could have, she would have smacked that baby, honey. It was this little baby. And honey, she was in the car. Well, she was coming out of the line first. Let's go through that. She's coming down out of the line, and she's signing autographs and high-fiving folks. And then somebody was in the audience and said, everybody's not here loving on you. You've been served or another something, another lawsuit. I looked at her. I said, oh. She got in the car, and she cussed out the driver. She cussed out her assistant. And then she put them both out in the middle of nowhere, put them out in the rain, and told them if they was piss poor and they wasn't doing their job, because nobody should have been able to get up to her and serve her. And the woman that was the assistant, she wasn't shit either. Put them out. I said, oh, interesting. And now we're flipping back and forth. Let's just leave her right on over there for us. I want to leave Mallory right there. Oh, and that was the other thing. That's what she said. Little nappy-headed. What she call that baby? She said that little nappy-headed rugrat vomited on me. But she made a comment when the baby threw up on her and told her, see, you got enough money, you could buy me a new dress. I said, Just shady on it. But anyway, let's leave them there. Let's go over to Jules. We see Jules. Jules sharp too, but Jules is rough. Jules will beat a hoe's ass. Jules, he's a pimp. I mean, he's a pimp and a hitman. That's what he is. He's a pimp and he's a hitman. And Jules has control over Kimmy. Kimmy has another girlfriend whose name is Rain. Rain is a brown skinned girl, pretty, who has accepted that her role in life is just she's gonna be a hoe. And that's it, and she ain't never gonna do no better. But she loves Kimmy, and she loves how Kimmy thinks big and she's thinking better. And she really wanted that scholarship and all of that. But Rang was like, girl, I ain't got time for this little seminar. I came with you, but I need to get out of here because I need to get to the club so I can make my money. Where there's some show enough money, you in here playing. I need some show enough money. So she left her. But we deal with all that with Rain, and we see how Rain gets down. A little bit after the seminar, they said that it was going to take a couple hours before they actually announced who scholarship was going to. We see Kimmy actually leaving. So in the meantime, between times, the timelines ain't making no sense. But we end up seeing Kimmy down to the club and this, that thing, and the other. Then they got the house mother in there who is just mean and hateful. She's just a mean and hateful old hoe that just ain't a good hoe no more. She just done got fat and her day had done came and gone. But she just old mean bitch. And she's down there and she runs the girls. She's another resurgence of a character. She reminds you of Vera. Y'all know Vera from Harlem Nights. Yes, I am in charge of the girls. But she a raggedy, rancid version of Vera. She's stuck on, I'm going to shoot you. I whoop your ass right now. She's stuck on that part where Vera was nice and kind and mean. No, this girl's just mean. She's old, mean, old, washed up hoe. So anyway, then we got this girl named Body, who is the bottom bitch to Jules. And she got this body, honey, and she's she looks like little half and half chick. She looks mulatto and she's pretty and all the things, but she ghetto as hell and she real rough around her edges. She real prickly, okay, around the edges, and she's happy being the bottom bitch. And she told me, I'll beat your ass, honey. You try to get wrong with me, I'll tear you up. So she's the pimptress on site. Okay, she is Jules's eyes and ears for the cleanup around town. She don't really care for Kimmy because, again, usually those types don't, because you see something else in her. You see that she's not really supposed to be there. Okay. While that's going on, we actually see it's real bothersome for Kimmy. She knows she's not supposed to be there. She has this older man that comes in there. She danced for him a little bit, and she noticed him staring at this uh, little Latina piece. His name is Angel. We actually don't run into him too much until another episode going forward. But we see him. I said, I can't. And he's looking, and she asked him, she said, you like that? Because I can get it for you. And the man was like, what? What are you talking about? Try to play her. He said, y'all from a screwed up generation. Nobody looking at him. I was looking at you. He wasn't. He was over there looking at that boy. I said, oh, see you, Grampy. Anyway, so that was that. Her mouth got her in trouble. That's the thing with Kimmy. Her mouth gets her in trouble. We get these flashbacks. We see where Kimmy and Rain actually met. Kimmy's mother chose a man over her when she was just 17 years old and put her out. Literally took her down to a strip mall and just dropped her off. Told her, you 17 years old, you can't stay in my house no more. Because the man done told her. She had actually, the man had made advances toward Kimmy. I think he actually had made a move on her and did some things to her. And the mother was confronting him. And he snapped out and told her, you can't be letting her get between us. The mother chose the man over her, put her on out. We keep seeing these little flashbacks. We see when she first met. That's when she first met Rain, and Rain taught her how. They was up in an electronics store after hours. They hid behind some TVs and that, so they get locked up in the store. And I'll go into that a little bit later. But okay, this is just how he's throwing the characters. This is how Tyler's throwing these characters. There's a whole bunch he was throwing it in this first episode. Then we see interaction between Jules and Kimmy. Jules hits, Jules grabs hair, and he's telling her, I don't know what your problem is. Why can't you perform? Why can't you just do what I tell you to do and get my money home? So he roughed her up in the car, and he ends up sending her back to the room. She then ends up there with Roy, trying to get her thing together. And she's trying to get her thing together. And she set up Roy a bit. She don't like Roy. She don't like him. You know, she don't like him. And everything's being done as this, like, Jules is doing this stuff, setting everything up for Roy and keeping it. Okay. And he's telling her, he's threatening her. He's like, you know, you got a whole bid. He kept you out of jail. And if I just drop the word to Jules, he'll have you thrown back in jail. So that's the thing that Jules is holding over her head. Her and Rain, is that he got them out of some trouble. They did some drug muling. They were mules running drugs and got caught up at the airport. And we found out later it really ain't just them two, but I'll talk about that later. So that's in another episode. But anyway, let me stick to the first episode. So what she did was, he was over there screwing her, and she was giving Roy was over there screwing old Kimmy. And so Kimmy was saying basically she couldn't take it. He's like, you can't even make me finish off or whatever. So he goes into the bathroom. She ends up hitting his phone, tell the phone, call the wife. Calls the wife. This is where we do the Tyler Perry bad writing. This just so happened to happen all at the same time. I said, Tyler, you and your rush timelines and your foolishness. Let's go on the ride, honey. Let's go. So it calls, the phone calls the wife. High profile people who have phones that ain't got no lock on it. And they say, call my wife. And the phone calls the wife. Yeah. Right, Tyler. Right. Anyway, so now we got Mallory on the phone. Roy comes back out. Now Kimmy is performing. She's doing her job, but she's getting it. Yeah, Daddy. Yes, Daddy. Oh, yes, Daddy. And the wife can hear it. So now she done set Roy up. Okay, she will get back at him for treating her like shit and getting her in trouble with her pimp. Okay? Now, here we go. The wife is so distraught. Because she's driving herself now down this private road on their property. And she ends up running some woman over. Hit her with the car. It's a truck. Hit her with the truck. The woman is all twisted up in the road. She gets out, walks back, sees the woman laying there, gets back in her truck, and drives off. Drives on. Drives right on about her business. I said, oh, Tyler, yeah, that was real nice and nasty. I said, okay. All right, cool, no problem. So I hit and run while she's listening. Now, here's the other little thing that was going on. At the same time, we got T.S. Madison is actually, yes, my sister is part of the cast. And basically, I don't know how I want to talk to Maddie one day about this, about how she felt about playing this role, because she's playing a trans woman who is doing illegal pumping of the girls, but she's pumping real girls. And we hear later on that there was some fatalities, and that but her and she had a little sister. They left the room a mess. There was blood everywhere. They're feeding the girl alcohol and pills. Body is the one that is running everything. This is all being done at the hotel room, because this is, like I said, we did flashbacks. Kimmy and Rain share a room, which is like at a hotel, at a motel, and they're doing it there. And she wasn't aware of it. She ends up coming in and finds her after they done pumped her and left her there, and she's just a mess. She's a mess. The room's a mess. There's all kind of cans of Fix a Flat and whatnot all around, and I'm like, okay. So again, like I said, T.S. Madison tells stories of, she knows that life. Okay, T.S. Madison, part of her story, she almost died from getting work that was not legal work done. So I don't know how she felt about playing this part, but she played the part. She's good to play the part because she knows, because she actually lived it. So it's a real thing. So I don't want anybody to think that it's just, this is not Tyler Perry just being ridiculous. This is really how some of this happens. Like, there's people who will pump you illegally, and it's just no regard for human life with how they do it. It's really all about money. So he wasn't really going way off script with this part. This part is actually how messy and how dark that part of life gets. But this girl wanted, getting their little BBL, honey, getting their ass done, getting their shots. And they left her there. And that was kind of how we left it. That was the ending of the first episode. So we got Rain getting pumped, and Kimmy finds her, and she's non-responsive. She's literally non-responsive. They've left her. She's leaking, and she's just a mess. And they left the room, and there's blood everywhere, and cans of Fix a Flat and whatever else, paint or whatever else they pumped in her, all over the place, and all of this going on. And we got over at the rich people's house. We got Mallory done ran over somebody on her way home because she got so distraught listening to Roy banging on what we know is Kimmy, and she don't. That is it for episode 1. Like I said, we just gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. So the T.S. Madison part coming in, her name is Daga, and she just trifling, no regard for human life, just doing what they do, trying to get that money, doing illegal pumping of the girls. But a lot of this other stuff, the timing and the running folks over and just going on about your business, and just very Tyler Perry. So like I said, ride this ride with me. I promise you, we're going to have many laughs when we probably ain't got no business laughing. Because if he going to write it like this, I'm going to kiki about it just like this. This is going to be fun. I'll talk to you all in the next episode. Later.